Then let's start from the grades of organization. In the grades of organization, we say there are three grades of organization. What are they? Number one, cellular grade of organization. Cellular grade of organization. So what to be remembered in the cellular grade of organization? I'll give a brief when we go before we go into the topic. Cellular grade of organization. What are the issues of cellular grade of organization? Here, group of cells are present. Here in this case, group of cells are present. Okay, group of cells, but no tissue. That means there is no coordination present between the cells, group of cells, but no tissue. But they cannot form the tissue. Group of cells are there, but they cannot form tissue. So why they cannot form tissue? They cannot form tissue. Why? The reason here that they are going to make a group, but due to the absence of nerve cells and sensory cells, that means coordination. Nerve cells and sensory cells are absent. Nerve cells and sensory cells are absent. That means, so that's why that what do you say? The coordination is absent. Coordination is absent. That's why they cannot form tissue. Okay, so let's put all of them in the order here. Coordination is absent in them. That's why they cannot form tissue. Why they cannot form tissue means we need to say coordination is absent. Why coordination is absent? Due to the absence of nerve cells and sensory cells. Okay, so where do you found these particular type of organization? Okay, so I'm giving from the beginning address that belongs to the kingdom Animalia. The kingdom Animalia. Okay, subkingdom Parajuva. Subkingdom Parajuva. Kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Parajuva. Who is that? Phylum? Phylum Porifera. Phylum Porifera. In phylum Porifera, we'll find this kind of feature. That group of cellular grade of organization. We can see the cellular grade of organization in case of phylum Porifera, which it belongs to the subkingdom Parajuva and kingdom Animalia. Okay, next. In the grades of organization, the second one we have to talk about, the grades of organization. The second one. With the second one, tissue grade of organization. Tissue grade of organization. So here, in case of tissue grade of organization, that we say group of cells which can form the tissue. Group of cells can form the tissue. That means what is tissue? That we know what is tissue actually, that the cells which are similar in shape, cells which are similar in shape, structure, origin, similar in shape, origin, function, that we say that as a tissue. So how is it possible that for these animals? So why it is not possible in case of the previous one? We said there is no coordination. So coordination between the cells is possible. Coordination between the cells is possible. Okay. So how does the coordination is possible? Nerve cells and sensory cells are present here. That means coordination is present. Nerve cells and sensory cells are present. So that's why coordination is present. That's why at least they can form the tissues. Now the question raises here. Now the question raises that where do you find these? That kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. So the people who joined today, that actually this is the third class of Kingdom Animalia. So I'm doing the revision of the yesterday's class. So I request all of you that go with the previous videos also. So go with the previous videos also. So at the end of the class, you can request me the previous videos, that I am giving guarantee here with that particular previous videos and today's information and tomorrow's revision. You people will be able to answer all kind of questions we are going to conduct on Sunday, the Sunday examination. So though even you join today, you'll be eligible. You are able to answer all the questions. Just to follow the two videos, day before and yesterday's video. And today, just follow through this. How much you understand, you try to understand today itself. And then we practice the different kinds of questions tomorrow. Then after that, will facilitate you to answer. Every question you will answer, I will give guarantee here. That grade kingdom let's come through this. The tissue grade of organization is seen in kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa, grade Radiata, grade Radiata, and phylum. What is the phylum here? The two phyla are there. Phyla Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Cnidaria and Ctenophora are exhibiting these kind of organization. Cnidaria and Ctenophora are exhibiting this kind of organization. Okay, tissue grade of organization. Next, we'll move to the organ system grade of organization. The grades of organization, the third one is organ system grade of organization. So now I'm moving organ system grade of organization. So what is organ system grade of organization? The well-developed organization. That means here in case in this particular organization, we can see the cells formed the tissues. Cells formed the tissues. Tissues formed the organs. Organs formed the organ systems. That means highly developed tissue. We can see here that cells formed the tissues. Then tissues formed the organs. Cells formed the tissues here. And tissues formed the organs. Organs formed the organ systems. So what do you say? So how all it is possible? How all this is possible? That we can say in these organisms. In these organisms, what is possible here? The more coordination is possible due to the well-developed nervous system. Due to the well-developed nervous system, we can say this is possible. Well-developed nervous system made that the cells formed the tissues, tissues formed the organs, and organs formed the organ systems. You may know that organ systems like digestive system, respiratory system, the circulatory system. If you take digestive system, that in digestive system, that is organ system. What are present? Organ, stomach, intestine are present. Stomach contain tissues, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, likewise they have. The tissues contain cells. So that means all the cells formed a tissue like epithelial and connective and muscular tissue, and all the tissues formed an organ like stomach, and all the organs like stomach and intestine are going to form the organ system. All this is possible due to the well-developed nervous system, which make more coordination between the cells, and more coordination leads to the formation of more development of the that for the highly developed organization will find. So where do you see these? We are going to see this in kingdom Animalia, kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa, kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa, and grade Bilateria, and division, the two divisions, that we have two divisions, isn't it? Division Protostomia and division Deuterostomia. Division Protostomia and division Deuterostomia, both are having this kind of organization. Division Protostomia and division Deuterostomia, both are having this kind of organization. Then when I ask about the phylum, what you can say? The phyla from phyla Platyhelminthes to, from phyla Platyhelminthes to Chordata. That means, shall we write the total names we wrote earlier? Phyla Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda. That means, let me expand this. Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata. No from required. We are writing the total. Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, and Mollusca. That all this we are going to learn in detail in the coming chapters. We have separate chapters for these, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. When we go to that particular chapters, all over the issues we are learning at present will be helpful for us. If I ask you what is the organization in Hemichordata, when we start the chapter Hemichordata, you have to say immediately, sir, we learned on the first day in the introduction, the organ system grade of organization. So what type of organization and need area? You should answer immediately. Sir, I learned it actually in introduction. Tissue grade of organization. Likewise, that's why we are learning this area in detail, which make us to be foundation for all the coming chapters of this particular zoology. Okay, so cellular grade of organization, tissue grade of organization, and organ system grade of organization. Three grades of organization we are seeing. Okay. Next, after that, I explained about the symmetry, isn't it? We learned the symmetry. What is symmetry? I'll give the brief. Symmetry. Okay, so what is symmetry? Symmetry is a geometrical design of body parts. Simply defined symmetry as geometrical design of body parts. Okay, so the design of body parts. Those who are learning today, those who join today, I request them to get the clarity. You have to watch the previous video that I'll send. That previous video to you. That I'll send that video to you, which make you to understand that particular, because these parts, see that organization and symmetry, I'm explaining. I'm not explaining new today. We already learned yesterday. That's why I'm going little bit faster here. Geometrical design of body parts is called symmetry. Geometrical design of body parts is called symmetry. Okay, so let's write here is called symmetry. So for your visibility, I am writing everything in capital letters. Okay, so next, then what are the symmetries here? We learned there are three types of symmetry. One is asymmetry, where there is no geometrical design. We say asymmetry. Okay, so what is asymmetry? That simply we say that no geometrical design of body part. Where do you see this kind of asymmetrical condition? In phylum Porifera. In phylum Porifera. Which kingdom? Kingdom Animalia. So again and again I am writing because you need to understand this. Address of every organism. Kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Parazoa, and phylum Porifera is having this kind of asymmetrical arrangement. Next, radial symmetry. The second one we have to go with the radial symmetry. So what we said about the radial symmetry, the geometrical design, I said over to remember to find out every time we need to find out three issues. One is principal axis. We recognized the principal axis yesterday, that oroeboral axis. Who is the principal axis here? Oroeboral axis. Okay. Next, arrangement of body parts. What is arrangement of body parts here? That arranged radially surround the oroeboral axis. Arranged radially surround the oroeboral axis. We spent more than half an hour time yesterday. I am moving slowly. I repeat that new, fresh students who entered today, that you need to go through the previous topic. Then only you will understand. Wait patiently 5 minutes. After this, whatever the topic we are going, you will be able to understand. Okay. Arrangement of body parts. Principal axis or oroeboral axis. Arrangement of body parts arranged radially surround the oroeboral axis. Okay. Next, definition. We need to define this radial symmetry. That is very important. Okay. So what is the definition? If you cut the organism here, if you cut the organism through any plane, if you cut the organism in any plane through oroeboral axis, we will get equal halves. We're going to get equal halves or identical halves. Halves, we say simply, are mirror images. Equal halves or identical halves are mirror images. This is the definition. If we cut the organism, as I said to you, I shown to you earlier yesterday, that means this is the radial symmetrical animal, Polyper medusa. We take it as Hydra. Okay, so then through the oroeboral axis, if we cut the organism in any plane, we are going to get equal halves or identical halves, similar halves or mirror images. So where do you see this? Where do you see this? We're going to see this in kingdom I'm not asking you today that at the end I'll ask you the questions, how much you read. Subkingdom, kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajova, subkingdom Eumetajova, and grade Radiata, hence we called Radiata, that because of radial symmetry itself. Okay, grade Radiata. Okay, so what are the phylums? We have two phyla, isn't it? The phyla Cnidaria, phyla, plural, phylum, singular, Cnidaria, and Ctenophora, see silent. Phylum Cnidaria and Ctenophora are having radial symmetry, Okay, next, let's go for the last one, that is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. So where do you see the bilateral symmetry? From phylum Platyhelminthes to Chordata, including human beings. So let us recognize the principal axis. Who is the principal axis? Mid-sagittal axis. Principal axis is mid-sagittal axis. Okay, so that number of planes will get arrangement of body parts. We need to see. Then after we go for the definition, arrangement of body parts. What is the arrangement of body parts here? That if organs are paid organs are arranged on lateral sides. Paid organs are arranged on lateral sides. Arranged on lateral side. That means on either sides of mid-sagittal axis. On either sides of mid-sagittal axis. I think you are getting visuals because of the yesterday's class. Paid organs are arranged on either sides of mid-sagittal axis, and organ is single organs are on above the mid-sagittal axis, or on above the mid-sagittal axis, that we learned yesterday. And then finally I define this. We'll go for the definition, and definition of this particular bilateral symmetry. We cut the organism through mid-sagittal axis. We cut the organism through mid-sagittal axis. Okay, so that means mid-sagittal plane, we say. The cutting plane is said to be mid-sagittal axis. We cut the organism through the mid-sagittal axis, we will get two equal lateral halves. Or identical halves. I shown this to you yesterday in human being, isn't it? Identical halves. Okay, so spelling mistakes. Identical halves are mirror images, we say. Okay, so mirror images. Identical halves are mirror images. We call it as bilateral symmetry. Why? Because when you cut like this, two lateral halves will come. So that's we say bilateral symmetry. So what the example here? That kingdom Animalia. Okay, so the kingdom Animalia. Okay, it will overlap. We'll write somewhere else. Oh my God. Okay, so kingdom Animalia. Then subkingdom Eumetajova. Okay. Next, grade. So grade is bilateria. Okay, so grade bilateria. That's why we say it as bilateral symmetry. The phyla is going to be from phylum Platyhelminthes to Chordata. Again and again, why I'm writing here, I'm not saying directly phylum Platyhelminthes to Chordata. These names, you need to be familiar with these names. That phylum Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, and Hemichordata, and finally Chordata. Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata are having what? Bilateral symmetry. Please correlate with. Earlier we have seen they have organ system grade of organization. Now what I am saying, they have bilateral symmetry. Same combination. Platyhelminthes to Chordata are having organ system grade of organization. Platyhelminthes to Chordata are having bilateral symmetry. Okay. So that till here we are completed this particular till here. Then after we need to move with the germ layers, isn't it? That germ layers and coelom, the tissues. We have to talk about that particular germ layers and tissues. All we have to go with them. For that, I am now moving on to the board with your permission. And now, let's take out that earlier the basic we have taken yesterday and the same. Now I am moving with. Okay, so let me go with. Where's the pen? Okay. So I'll remember you once again that a basic we learned yesterday. So we started the story from zygote, isn't it? Zygote. Zygote is a single celled structure. Listen carefully from here that even new joinings today, even the new people here, they all can understand from here. Okay, so zygote. Zygote divides into two cells, two cells, four cells, then 8 cells. That means the divisions will go on, isn't it? They go 2 cell stage, then 4 cell stage, then 8 cell stage. It will go on to divide and they form a structure, a solid ball. We say it as marula. Divisions will go on and form an embryonic stage, marula. So, whose embryonic development we are talking? We are talking a general embryonic development. Any organism, they starts life from zygote itself, isn't it? A huge sized elephant and a human being or a hydra or an earthworm or a cockroach. Everyone should start their life story from zygote and the particular zygote divides in 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell. Likewise, that results the formation of a stage called marula. Then the marula develops into the blastula. Marula develops into blastula, the stage, next stage after the marula. The marula is a solid one. Blastula is having a cavity. What do you say the cavity has? Blastocele, a hollow thing it is, like a football. Blastocele, also called primary body cavity or segmentation cavity. Blastocele or primary body cavity or segmentation cavity, we say. Okay, so this particular blastula, the stage, what do you say it as? Blastula. The first time there is a cavity formed. That's why we said it as primary body cavity. First time I mean from the development zygote onwards, no cavity anywhere and now we got a cavity. So what happens to this blastula? The cells of the blastula started invagination. What is invagination? This is invagination. Cells will go inside. It's just like you imagine pressing the football from one side with your finger. So your finger is here. That you are pressing here. Invagination will continue and invagination will continue. So the two edges will come together, isn't it? That leads to the formation of a stage called gastrula. Up to here, you people need to learn. Okay, so this is the gastrula stage. Okay, so what you call this as gastrula. Okay, so then this gastrula stage, up to here is enough for us. That gastrula. In the gastrula, the two layers you can see here now at present. What is the outer layer? We say ectoderm. Outer layer is called ectoderm. And the inner layer is called endoderm. Outer layer is called ectoderm. Inner layer is called endoderm. Let me stop here. I'll go back. Yes, here an embryonic development we are talking about. There is a zygote. Zygote divides into two cells. Two cells will go on. Four cells and then 8 cells. Then finally it leads to the formation of marula. Marula develops into a stage called blastula. Okay. In the blastula, there is a cavity form. What do you say that cavity as? Blastocele or primary body cavity or segmentation cavity. So this cavity, in this blastula, invagination occurs. That results the formation of cells are going inside. Cells are going inside, whatever the cells present. So that invagination results the formation of a stage called gastrula. In the gastrula, outer layer is called ectoderm. Inner layer is called endoderm. Then this is the opening which is formed for the first time, isn't it? Blastopore, we say. You don't find any opening in blastula. See there. You don't find any opening there. Here now we can see the opening. Blastopore. Okay, so then where it opens? Blastopore opens into archenteron. Blastopore opens into archenteron. This archenteron only, in future it will become elementary canal. Okay, so this is as usual present. Who is this? Blastocele or primary body cavity. BC. So I wrote here full. That's why I'm writing here BC like that. Blastocele or blastula will remain here still. That blastocele are primary body cavity. These are the basics you need to learn. Okay. So with these basics, we'll go with the various other issues also here. That in that the first one I'm going here, diploblastic and triploblastic. What is diploblastic? Diploblastic means two germ layers. Triploblastic, that means three germ layers. Diploblastic and triploblastic condition. Okay, so diploblastic. What is diploblastic? Here, when I start like this, it will be very comfortable. You feel now because if I draw like this, at least you will recognize what I am drawing actually. Okay, so what I'm drawing in the embryonic development, I'm going to draw the stage called gastrula. In this particular stage, gastrula, if you find only two layers, outer layer we say ectoderm and the inner layer we call endoderm. If only two germ layers are present, we call such condition as diploblastic. Such condition is called as diploblastic condition. Okay. Then during embryonic development, only two layers are present. What do you call these layers? Germ layers. Why we say they are germ layers? That after that, when an organism is formed, like an hydra or a jellyfish, whatever, so that particular organisms are going to form from these two layers only. These two layers only. Okay. So that's why we say they are germ layers. These two layers are going to form the whole body of organism, whole organism's body. Okay, next, triploblastic. What is triploblastic? During gastrula stage, you will find three layers. Let me show you the outer layer, ectoderm, and inner layer is called endoderm, and additional will find one more layer. One more layer, that is mesoderm. So three germ layers are present. If the organisms are having two germ layers, we say diploblastic. Now they have, if three germ layers are present, we call it as triploblastic. Ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. So three germ layers. If they are having three germ layers, we say it as triploblastic. So if two germ layers are present, diploblastic. Okay, so that means with this basics what we learned here, with that we are going to learn everything after this, and every definition we are going with this only. Okay, zygote, 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell. Then after they form the marula. Marula results the formation of a cavity, that hollow cavity containing embryonic stage. What is that? Blastula. The cavity in the blastula is called blastocele or primary body cavity. Due to the invagination of the cells of the blastula, that results the formation, where we call it as invagination, and results the formation of a new stage called as gastrula. The stage we say gastrula. These gastrula, the basic structure of the gastrula, I gave it to you, that outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and there is an opening called blastopore and opens into this area, opens into archenteron. Okay, and there is a cavity. What is that cavity? Blastocele or primary body cavity. Okay, then we started learning definition. The diploblastic. What is diploblastic condition? Diploblastic means that the and organisms are having only two germ layers, like outer germ layer ectoderm, inner germ layer endoderm. So what do you say it as? The diploblastic condition. Two germ layers, diploblastic, two germ layers. Next, if it is three germ layers are present in the embryonic development: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Three germ layers are present that we say that is triploblastic condition, triploblastic condition. Interestingly, if you take a human being itself, we are taking ourselves, we are triploblastic organisms actually. We are triploblastic organisms that any part of the body, if you take, like the head, kidney, liver, pancreas, spleen, digestive, respiratory, circulatory, anything, that all that particular body parts formed from these three germ layers only. That we should answer from which germ layer, which part is formed. That capacity we are going to get in the next chapter. When we go to the second chapter, structural organization in animals, I give guarantee here after the completion of the chapters, brain formed from ectoderm. Likewise, heart from mesoderm. So that elementary canal is from endoderm. Likewise, that means this embryo, more interesting thing here, that a single celled zygote after 9 months becoming an organism, isn't it? So what I am saying, zygote, 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell, morula, blastula, gastrula, and this gastrula is going to form a full organism. In the end, a full organism is formed. So that what I am saying, these three layers are responsible for the formation of each and every tissue, each and every body part, organ, systems of our body. So that means we have to make calculation which layer form whom, which layer form whom. That I am saying, I'll give the guarantee here. When you go to the second chapter, when we complete the second chapter, you people will be capable to go for which body part is formed from where, which layer, which germ layer is going to form. So, okay, then we'll close this with example, diploblastic. Diploblastic, I am writing the hierarchy here. Kingdom, kingdom Animalia. Subkingdom, subkingdom Eumetazoa. Kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetazoa. Phylum, phyla I am writing. Why? Because there are the two phyla. That no, we can write grade even, isn't it? Grade radiata. We learn grade radiata is also called diploblastica, isn't it? Grade radiata because the radial symmetry. Now we are going to say it as diploblastica. Two germ layers are present. So phyla, I think came into your mind. I know. Tomorrow I'll ask all that questions. Phyla, Nidaria and Ctenophora. Space problem. I am adjusting the space on the screen. Phyla, Nidaria and Ctenophora. Okay. Now, the grade, the triploblastic condition. The triploblastic condition, we said it has three germ layers are present, making myself space. I'll write here the three germ layers. Okay, so let me take my favorite color. The three germ layers. Now, let's take it out. Kingdom. For example, I'm writing kingdom, Animalia, subkingdom, subkingdom. I think you don't mind with my writing. That my writing is very good actually. I'm writing with this pen, this kind of pen. That's why little bit difference came. Little bit, lot of difference. Okay, so grade bilateria. We said earlier, grade is bilateria, which is now also called triploblastica. Why we call them as bilaterians? Because they have bilateral symmetry and three germ layers, triploblastic condition we say. Okay, so phyla, I have to write the list here. I think you will understand my limitation. I am writing directly. Phylum Platyhelminthes 2, Chordata. I may type fast, but I can't write that much fast. So phylum Platyhelminthes 2, Chordata. That means Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. So that what do you say? All they are exhibiting triploblastic condition. Here we are, the chordates. We are chordates. So that all we have the three germ layers. We said we discussed about that condition, diploblastic and triploblastic. Now the three germ layers. Okay. Next, we'll take one more item here. One more item. So what we will take? Protostomia and deuterostomia. Division protostomia and division deuterostomia. So that if you remember, shall we go there once? Once we'll go there and we'll come back. That it will make you to remember where we are exactly, that you can understand. Let me go there. I'll show you that kingdom animalia chart. That, okay, last screen. So I'll go there. I'll go there and okay. So wait 1 minute. That, so we'll look forward once that kingdom animalia chart where it is. Yeah. Hope all of you looking toward the screen. That are you getting the screen? Let me check it out. Let me check it out. The screen, kingdom animalia. Okay, so I'm checking instead of you. I'm going for checking the, okay. Yeah, this chart actually we started day before that particular chart. Yeah, all of you are looking there. Okay, then where we are exactly, if you see that will be you will be able to understand kingdom animalia classified into two subkingdoms, subkingdom Parajuva and subkingdom Eumetajuva. Subkingdom Parajuva is having cellular grade of organization, where there is no coordination of the cells, no coordination between the cells. That means nerve cell and sensory cells are absent. That's why remain as cells, just cellular grade of organization. Okay. Then what? Then what? Let me take the full screen. Yeah. Next, the subkingdom Eumetajuva. It may have either tissue grade or organ system grade of organization. Further it is classified into two grades, grade radiata or diploblastica, grade bilateria or triploblastica. Why you call that grade as gradiata? Radial symmetry they have. That radial symmetry, what we said, through the oral axis, if we cut the organism in any plane, we are going to get equal halves. Okay, why they are called diploblastic condition? Diploblastica, two germ layers are present in their organism. Two germ layers. That means during embryonic development in the gastrula stage, we'll find two layers. What are they? Ectoderm and endoderm. Okay. So then what type of organization they have? Tissue grade of organization. That we are seeing till the time. Example, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Ctenophora. If you observe that I wrote separate times, always that I wrote separately like this. Radial symmetry, kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajuva. From the beginning I wrote. This kind of practice will facilitate us to write different kinds of objective questions. The kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajuva, grade Radiata, I said radial symmetry, phylum Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Then for diploblastica, I started like this. Kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajuva, grade diploblastica, that phyla Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Then for tissue grade, I again started. Kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajuva, grade that radiata or diploblastica are having tissue grade of organization, phyla Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Okay. Then similarly, that bilateria or triploblastica, we say bilateria or triploblastica. So that kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Eumetajuva, grade bilateria are with bilateral symmetry. Triploblastica means three germ layers and organ system grade of organization. In which phyla they are present? All the phyla. That means whatever the phyla present here. Phylum Platyhelminthes to Chordata. Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata. Okay. So they have some other differences, that's why we classified. But what is common here in all these phylum? Platyhelminthes to Chordata, they are common with bilateral symmetry, three germ layers, and organ system grade of organization. Next, grade bilateria further classified into two. What are they? Division protostomia and division deuterostomia. Division protostomia and division deuterostomia. We classify it as division protostomia, division deuterostomia. Okay, so now I am here. I am explaining this. Fate of blastopore, mouth. Fate of blastopore, anus. We are trying to explain that particular. So allow me to go there. Allow me to go that particular that board. Uh, I'm taking the whiteboard again. Okay. Transition takes 30 seconds. Need patience, that's all. So we are talking about protostomia. Okay, so protostomia and deuterostomia. Division protostomia. How do we explain? We said in the case of gastrula stage, there is an opening, isn't it? What is that? This one, blastopore. Okay, so this opening we call blastopore. Okay, very good. Opening is blastopore. What happens to this blastopore in future? That means, for example, this particular organism, if this is the gastrula, so this opening should become something, isn't it? If you take an animal, this is the mouth and this is the anus. Okay, so this is the alimentary canal. I'm taking any one of the example. Maybe it may you consider it as roundworm or you consider earthworm, whatever. Okay, so any organism they have two openings, isn't it? One is mouth and other is anus. Okay. So what is this? This blastopore developed into what? Mouth or anus? This is the first opening. What is the importance of this? This is the first opening. There is no opening in the previous stage. In the blastula stage, there is no opening, isn't it? So when blastula become gastrula, there is an opening is formed. Now the interesting thing to see here, what this blastopore becomes in the adult. This is adult and this is embryo. So this embryonic opening, what it will become? If it become mouth, if blastopore becomes mouth, their opposite end will be anus. If imagine if this become anus, their opposite end will be mouth. So whatever it may be, we consider this area only, this area. If this fate means future. If the fate of blastopore is mouth, we say protostomia. If the fate of blastopore is anus, we call deuterostomia. Fate of blastopore is mouth. Okay, so fate of blastopore is mouth. Blastopore, who is blastopore? Knowing who is blastopore is very important for us. Knowing who is blastopore. The first opening, which is found in the stage gastrula, is called blastopore. What happens to the blastopore in future? That means when it become adult, so that becomes mouth. So what do you call it as? Protostomia. Okay. Then what is deuterostomia? If this blastopore, if it become anus, the fate of blastopore is anus. The fate of blastopore is anus. What do you call it as? Deuterostomia. Okay. So what is the meaning? Proto. Proto means first. Stoma. You remember this. It will be helpful for you coming 2 years. Stoma means mouth. Wherever this word comes, mouth. Stoma. Protostomia. That means proto means first. Stoma means mouth. Protostomia. That means first mouth in that way. Okay. So next. Fate of blastopore will be the mouth. In case of deuterostomia, deutero, that means next. What next? Mouth next. Okay, so next. Stoma, mouth. Mouth is next. Then who is first? Anus. Anus is first. If first anus is formed, then the next mouth will be formed. So that's it. So in this angle, if we talk about fate of blastopore, if it is mouth, that we say protostomia, and their opposite end will be anus will be formed. Then if the fate of blastopore, this will become anus and opposite end will be mouth will be formed. So finally, yeah, we are saying this is going to become alimentary canal, archenteron. Enteron, that means gut itself. Archenteron. So it will become bow mouth and this area total become alimentary canal. So that's it. Only to be learned over two definitions. Division protostomia and division deuterostomia. Okay, so let's go back to that the chart here that we learned the two things, division protostomia and division deuterostomia. Here these are the two things here, division protostomia, division deuterostomia. Okay, so fate of blastopore is mauve. What I said till the time. Fate of blastopore will be anus. Division protostomia, division deuterostomia. Okay, next, the type of cleavage that we need to see here. Spiral cleavage, determinate cleavage, radial cleavage, indeterminate type of cleavage. Type of embryo, mosaic embryo here. Here the type of embryo will be regulative embryo. So that means if we ask the properties of this particular protostomia and deuterostomia, fate of blastopore is mauve. Type of cleavage, spiral and determinate. Type of embryo, mosaic embryo. Then deuterostomia, fate of blastopore, anus. Radial and indeterminate type of cleavage, and type of embryo will be regulative embryo. Okay. So then that this particular division protostomia further classified into three subdivisions: acylometa, pseudocylometa, schizocylometa. Division deuterostomia is having only one subdivision. What is that? Enterocylometa. Okay, so now three more topics left over for us. Type of cleavage, type of embryo, and body cavity. So today we'll discuss these two, type of cleavage and type of embryo. Okay, today we'll discuss these two. Then after, we'll go with the coelom tomorrow. Then let me complete these two things. Then I'll ask you whatever the doubts you have, you can clarify. Now let me take the type of cleavage. Very simple. Cleavage. What is cleavage? A zygote undergo cleavage and that form two cells. That is called cleavage. Okay, simply what I am saying here, a zygote undergo cleavage. That means division we have to talk about. Division. The cleavage nothing but division. Okay. So this is a cleavage, type of cleavage. Zygote divides two cells, four cells. Here we have to talk about that kind of division when it is happening like so. Two cells divides and what they form? Four cells. So the story here we have to learn at four cells. Okay, at four cells. These are the four-celled organism. Okay. So how these four cells are going to become eight? There you can explain cleavage patterns. Okay. There you can explain the cleavage. That four cells, isn't it? There we can explain the cleavage pattern. Like the how these four cells are going to become eight. That we have to talk about. Let me try again. These are the four cells. So how these four cells like this? Cleavage pattern is oblique. Okay, cleavage pattern is oblique. So let me write the polar axis. This is the polar axis. We call this as polar axis. Okay, if the cleavage pattern is oblique to the polar axis, if the cleavage pattern is oblique, oblique, oblique. How many obliques I drawn? Four obliques. Okay, let me remember that word. This is the key word for this. If the cleavage patterns are oblique, we say that is that if we complete this, how will it be seen over? Let me write. If we complete these are the four cell stage, and I said this is oblique, oblique, oblique. So that oblique, oblique, oblique will make over eight cell stage. Okay, let me write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight cell stage is formed. Okay, so what do you call such kind of cleavage? Such kind of cleavage is called as spiral cleavage. Such kind of cleavage is said to be spiral cleavage. Okay, what is spiral cleavage? During the cleavage pattern, during the division, if the cleavage patterns are oblique to the polar axis of the embryo, if the cleavage patterns are oblique to the polar axis of the embryo, that you please take the screenshot of this, otherwise you will find some the problem in while writing, while listening to that particular. Today I am going to send the total PDF to you. The cleavage patterns are oblique. If the cleavage patterns are oblique to the polar axis, what do you say? Spiral cleavage. Okay, then What about the radial cleavage? Let me write radial cleavage. Okay, radial cleavage. So radial cleavage. Where do you see the radial cleavage? We'll see. Let us see. First of all, let me go for this. This is the 4-cell stage again. In the 4-cell stage, okay, cleavage patterns are radial. Simply, we have to remember it as radial. What is the meaning of radial? Radial, wherever it comes, that is straight. We need to understand. The cleavage patterns are radial, straight. We say that here we see the 8-cell stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If the cleavage patterns are radial, this is radial, this is radial. So that what do you say? Such kind of cleavage is radial cleavage. So spiral cleavage, if the cleavage patterns are oblique to the polar axis of the zygote, we say spiral cleavage. If the cleavage patterns are radial, we call radial cleavage. Such cleavage is called radial cleavage. Where do you see this? That division protostomia are having spiral cleavage. Division protostomia means phylum Platyhelminthes to mollusca are having this kind of cleavage. Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, mollusca. Radial cleavage is seen in division deuterostomia, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and chordata. Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and chordata are having radial cleavage. Okay, let me take one more item before I close this. Determinate type of cleavage. Determinate type. Determinate. Okay, so today actually the lengthier class you may feel, but these are the areas we need to complete. We need to prove ourselves. Sunday we are going to write exam on these. So we need to prove ourselves that your focus, your attention, your concentration make you to get full marks. Okay, determinate and indeterminate. Okay, so we discussed like that. Again, 4-cell stage we have to take. Again, 4-cell stage. So after 4 cells stage, what you can expect? 8 cell, 16, 32, 64. It's very common, isn't it? Okay, so after that, what happens? After that, if we say like this, that 8-cell stage, 16-cell stage, 32-cell stage, likewise, if it go on like that, 9 months, if they divide like this, what can be expected? We can expect a bigger football in the end. You don't find any organism. Something should happen in between, that the cells should decide, I'll become some stomach, I'll become some kidney, I'll become some liver. They have to determinate, isn't it, Amar? Otherwise, if the just division only occurs during embryonic development, if only division occurs, that what happens? Only division occurs, we'll find a group of cells in the end. But it should not be happen like that. They should decide. So when they decide, we call these particular cells as blastomeres. You remember that? That will help us to define blastomeres. Okay. So if the fate of blastomeres, so these blastomeres, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many blastomeres are present? That 4. At this stage only, fate of blastomere. Now they are decided. Decided. Decided for what? Decided to become something. Okay. So at this stage, that means very early stage, isn't it? The fate of blastomeres decided early in the embryonic development. If the fate of blastomere decided early in the embryonic development, we say determinate. Okay. Here, zygote, 2-cell, 4-cell, marula, 8-cell, marula, blastula, gastrula, that will go on. But now, till the time there is no decision made, so that after these gastrula stage, now that that layers were formed here, they are started deciding. I'll become digestive system. I'll become respiratory. I'll become circulatory. Like means little bit late, isn't it? So that's what we are talking. If the fate of blastomeres, if the fate of blastomeres decided late in the embryonic development, if the fate of blastomere decided that late in the embryonic development, we say indeterminate type of cleavage. Okay, late in the embryonic development. Just a simple to remember over here, zygote divides into 2 cells, then came to 4 cells, they started a decision. That means fate of blastomere. Fate means future. The future is whole body. So when does they start the particular decision will happen? So that makes here fate of blastomeres. If it is decided early in the embryonic development, we say that determinate. So where do you see this? You can see this in phylum Platyhelminthes to mollusca because it belongs to division Protostomia. Okay, so where do you see this? It is from that Echinodermata, Hemicardata, and Chordata. Echinodermata, Hemicardata, Chordata. Because this feature is belongs to that Deuterostomia. This feature is belongs to Deuterostomia. Echinodermata, Hemicardata, and Chordata. Okay. So this is what the things will happen here: determinate and indeterminate. Determinate and indeterminate. Okay, so that's it. Let me say once again. Let me say once again. Determinate means fate of blastomere decided early in the embryonic development. Indeterminate fate of blastomere decided late in the embryonic development. Okay, so then spiral cleavage and radial cleavage. That if the cleavage patterns are oblique to the polar axis of the zygote, we say spiral cleavage. If the cleavage patterns are straight, radial, we say radial cleavage. Okay. So this is what we learn till the time that definitions. And then in the next, we're going to learn about the coelom. We're going to learn about still coelom.